What's going on, champs and chambettes? It's FireMonkey here, and today's video is going to be a very interesting topic relating to leakers versus content creators in a weird way. So this all relates to some drama that's going down on Twitter recently, and I will say that I have two different sides of this whole entire story, right? I have the leaker perspective and then the content creator perspective, because I do both. So firstly, we're going to state all the facts and everything, and then go on a little bit of a ramble regarding everything afterwards. So let's start off by talking about what happened. So firstly, there is an early cosmetic grant program with Epic Games, where specific content creators who get invited by Epic Games themselves get access to new cosmetics early. And there's even some concept artists in this program as well, and their whole entire role is just, get some new cosmetics, hype it up on Twitter, social media, whatever else, so people, get excited for it. And sometimes they even hype up events. Like the program before has actually been the way that, people have found out ahead of time that vehicles were coming to the game. Back before we had like trucks and all that type of stuff, it got actually leaked through these type of emails because they were like, hey, we're hyping up vehicles coming to the game. We're gonna have the dummy skin granted to people's accounts early if you're in this program and everything. So get excited, share it with your community or whatever once the cosmetic grant's actually available to you, and make some promotional content, just hyping up this new change or whatnot. So this program was designed for the whole entire purpose of, keeping things a little bit secret, but giving certain content creators a heads up on things happening in Fortnite so that they can get prepared to get some skins early, make some content on whatever it is early, and prepare whatever else they need to do, right? And then of course, if you're like a concept artist or something, it was really just a program trying to give back to you because of the fact that you helped get some skins that you created into the world of Fortnite. So it's like, hey, you get your own skin granted to you, and you're going to be able to get other skins that get added in the future that are part of this program granted to your account as well. Now, all the controversy starts when Happy Power, one of the cosmetic, or I guess one of the creators in the cosmetic program, got kicked from the program randomly. This was shortly after he had actually made a video saying, Epic Games told me not to share this, which was a video regarding the Academy Champion skins. So content creators got those skins early and for free, and they were like, confidential, do not share until, the grant gets given to you. Now, the reason Happy Power made a whole entire video regarding this, as far as my understanding, was because of the fact that, despite Epic Games being like, don't share this, leakers such as myself already share that information like a whole entire month before content creators even knew they were going to get the skins, right? So if you're a news-based channel and you're like going to be able to get the skins or whatever, but there's content creators and everything else who already have all this information publicly out there, it's like, how am I supposed to not share it if the information's already been shared out there to basically the whole entire world, right? So Happy Power made a video under the assumption that, everything would have been fine because, the information's already out there, and because, iTalk himself even mentioned that Epic Games says they word some of their emails because they kind of expected to get leaked the way they do or whatever, but it ended up with a situation where shortly after he gets removed from the program, he contacts Epic support about it and everything, and according to Epic, he was removed because they were restructuring the program, and it's at their discretion. It's a program made for active media people or whatever, which Happy Power kind of fits under because he makes daily content on the game basically, and how if they ever want to remove someone, they can just remove someone. Now this has caused a little bit of worrying with people who are in the program because they're like, I've been burnt out on art, for example, recently, or I've been burnt out on making videos. My videos aren't getting as much views as they used to. Maybe they're going to remove me from the program because I don't go under their active guidelines anymore or whatever else, and it's like maybe I'm at jeopardy of being removed based on this vague description. Now, personally for me, I think that the whole entire Happy Power situation, even though they were like, oh yeah, you have to be active content creator, blah, 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 I genuinely think it was just because of that one video, right? I think it was the video where he's like, I was told not to share this because of the fact that, you are told not to share it, even if it's information that's out there. I could be understanding that, you're under this assumption of, hey, I should be able to talk about it because everyone already knows, but even with that, I think that since you're in an exclusive program like that, it would just be better to not jeopardize your opportunity of being in there, and it would be better just to, stay hush-hush on that topic, because, this is Fortnite. We have a million things in this game that you can talk about constantly, so you don't have to talk about that one cosmetic collab or that one cosmetic set that's going to be releasing very soon, even if it gets leaked, because you can just be silent about it, right? You could talk about, like, a million different things going on with the game, such as other leaks or whatever else. And it's like, let's say you talked about it before this email was granted to you, or just given to you or whatever, then that is completely fine. You talked about it before Epic Games ever told you not to talk about it, so it's not like you were in the wrong for anything. And on top of that, it's just like, hey, from this point forwards, don't speak about it. You know, it's just a whole entire thing where I feel it's a little bit of a double-edged sword. On one hand, I understand Happy Power's stance and everything, but on the other hand, I'm also like, you know, if it's like at the point that the email came out, maybe you shouldn't have made a video like just titled, hey, Epic Games told me not to leak this. And this isn't me being mad at Happy Power trying to start drama or anything, right? This is just my opinion based on everything that I've noticed. Is just, you know, it feels like a very iffy situation where the title itself could be enough reason to remove him from the program. Now, because of all this, iTalk had actually made a YouTube video talking about his side of the situation and everything, and talking about his opinion and how he was worried he might get removed from the program because the views aren't like they used to be for his channel or whatever. Sometimes they don't hit the mark or whatnot, and he was like, he fully expects to be removed, right? And the whole entire situation with that is it caused a lot of drama over on Twitter, which if you don't use Twitter, I'm proud of you, right? Twitter is an interesting place to be on. And the whole entire controversy was basically just, hey, you know, you talk about people like not liking insider leaks or whatever every few months or whatever, and it just was like got blown out of proportion. In my opinion, content creators, it makes sense for them not want this type of stuff to get leaked out there, especially when Epic Games contacts them about it being like, don't share, because of the fact that they were told not to share it, and because of the fact that it kind of ruins their ability to make their own little hype for something that otherwise shouldn't be known about. And it makes complete sense, right? I understand where iTalk's coming from with the whole situation, but the whole entire thing about leakers should not be getting any consequences, which was something that, well, I guess leakers don't have any consequences on them while content creators get removed from a program, was an interesting topic overall. And why is this stuck at 100 of 100? Okay, that's interesting. Oh wait, that's a different quest. All right, that makes sense. But like I was saying, the whole entire situation where it's like, you know, leakers don't get any consequences while, you know, people in the Cosmetic program or whatever do get consequences for leaking this stuff is definitely an interesting topic to talk about overall, because of the fact that when it comes to all this stuff, I've actually had a discussion with an Epic employee before regarding this type of topic because of the fact of the, you know, seasonal leaks, right? The leaks for the new season or whatever that came out a week before it released or whatnot. It was like, how'd you find this? Blah, 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 blah. And what I was told was that Epic Games can't be mad at leakers for leaking the information. What they can be mad at is for the content creators, or I guess, you know, not content creators, but whatever the insider is. That's the person they get mad at because they're the one who leaked the information to us. And leakers, our job is to just share the information out there, right? We didn't sign any NDAs. We didn't agree to anything like that to not share information. So on our side, they shouldn't be having any consequences on us, because at the end of the day, the only person who should get the consequences is the person who worked with Epic Games or whatever else to leak that information out there. And that's why they can't be mad at us. Now, of course, Epic Games employees probably get upset seeing some of their hard work and everything get leaked so early. And I mean, I even had a DM I looked at the other day where it was like, you know, I have to ask, but how do you find out about our stuff so shortly after we work on it? Which I thought it was funny because that DM was months old and I didn't even notice it until randomly I was looking through my DMs and stuff one day, right? So it's like, Epic Games, they know stuff gets leaked and all that, right? And they know a lot of stuff gets leaked so shortly after they work on it, but at the same time, they can't really give us consequences because we never signed an agreement with them. And that's kind of where the disconnect comes into play, because if you look at the whole entire Cosmetic grant program, those content creators, sure, they might make news on the game and everything else, but they're also in a spot where they signed an agreement with Epic Games and everything, or I don't really know how the program works because, you know, I'm not in it or anything like that, and they still talked about the specific leaks. And I think it would just be a situation where it's like, you know, from a moral standpoint, I understand talking about the leaks, especially if you're a content creator who mainly talks about leaks anyways, but from the kind of like more of a intellectual, I guess not intellectual, but, you know, just more of like a thought about just standpoint of, hey, this is what I would probably do if I was in the program, is even if I was in the program, right, as a Fortnite leaker, and yes, I'm saying this right here, I'll go on the record for saying it, if I was ever put in that early Cosmetic program and everything like that, and, you know, there was some information in there that I wasn't supposed to share earlier or whatever, I would, despite being a leaker, respect that request, and if it did get leaked from another content creator or something like that, I wouldn't tweet about it or make a video on it, simply because of the fact that the request after that specific point has been told to me, you know, not to share, and it's like, you know, I don't want to ruin my opportunity with Epic Games at that point, so I would make sure to refrain from it. I know you can be like, FireMonkey gets paid to not leak stuff or whatever else, and, you know, you could technically be right in a way. I wouldn't really be getting paid because of the fact that, you know, it's just Epic Games being like, you get free Cosmetic in the game or whatever like that, but it would be a situation where I personally would try to err on the side of caution if I was in the same shoes as Happy Power and make sure that I didn't talk about the situation even if it did get leaked leaked early. But of course, that's my own personal thought on the whole entire thing. So I think, even though Epic Games doesn't, have this whole entire situation where, leaks get leaked early or whatever, even though the content creators themselves can sometimes be disappointed on it, I can see why on both sides, right? I can see why leakers would be like, well, it's kind of the content creator's fault for leaking it to us. And then I can also see on the content creator side where it's like, I'm not the one leaking it. It got leaked by a different content creator, and it kind of ruined the hype that I was going to be able to build up for my own community. So I feel like this is a double-edged sword in a way, right? Where it's bad for both sides, right? Because on the leaker side, you have a whole entire situation where it's like, yeah, we don't feel you to, like, have any consequences or whatever because we never signed anything with Epic Games. We weren't under any like special program or anything. But on the Epic Games, the content creator side, you also have issues where it's like, well, all this information's out there. They told me not to talk about it, but someone else did. How am I supposed to not talk about it at this point? Because people know I'm in the program. They'll probably ask me questions regarding this if I knew about it or whatever. And it's really just a hard battle to win or lose. And I'll have you guys know that when it comes to this whole entire Cosmetic early grant program, it's entirely invite only. There's not like a website you can go to. You can't go to like epicgames.com/epicgrant, or you can't go to like your support a creator page and upgrade to the Cosmetic program or anything like that. It's not an open program. It's completely up to Epic Games' own discretion. And it's something where, you're just kind of invited one day or kicked from it one day, and there's no real way to contact and try inviting other people or anything like that. So it's always going to be this iffy gray area because no one really truly knows anything about the program. You can't see your statistics or anything. There's not like a dashboard being like, you have made 25 out of 30 required videos on Fortnite this month or anything like that. It's so weird. And I'll have you guys know that I'm in the Good Gamers like organization, which is like a creative org. It's all dedicated to the boy Dilly who made the Go Goated PvP map or whatever. And it's a little place where I kind of make my tweets and everything, hype up the creative maps and everything once a week and whatnot, and I get paid for it. And the boy Dilly, the person part of that program, mentioned that they were going to be sending off an email and everything, trying to get everyone a part of that program into the early Cosmetic grant program. And I told them, all right, I was like, look, you can try if you want, but I know I'm a leaker and I know Epic Games already has an issue with leaks when it comes to this program. So even though I would be in a situation where it's like, hey, I wouldn't leak stuff if I was in the program, I think they would be erring on the side of caution because they don't really treat, leakers as content creators that much. And I probably wouldn't be allowed in, right? I would be the only person in that org, assuming that, not everyone else already has access to the early cosmetics, which I think they do, who wouldn't be allowed into the whole early cosmetic program and everything just because of what my main following is for. And I've accepted that fate, right? I've accepted that I probably won't have anything interesting with Fortnite. Now, something I think Epic Games could do to help find these, like insiders or whatever, or just kind of, help figure out which leakers are actually leaking the stuff out there, the content creators or whatever, is do something that they haven't done, or at least I haven't heard about them doing in years, which was when item shops were getting leaked a few years ago, right? This was through some insider source or whatever like that. And what Epic Games actually started doing was making it so some information in the, information that, the employees or contractors, whatever else, had some false bits of things in there so that when those leaks got posted to the public, it's like, okay, wait a minute, this email included something that doesn't even need to be mentioned anywhere because it doesn't actually exist, and it was just bait to actually contact and, figure out which content creator group might be leaking stuff, or I guess in this case, Epic employee was leaking stuff. And it's something where I was like, you know what, and actually this is kind of an idea from Denny over on Twitter. I was like, that would actually be a good idea to actually find these content creators, and I feel like that would be a good way to put people in the program, especially like leakers or whatever else, such as myself, and be able to figure out if they're the ones leaking stuff or if it's something else. Now, I know with content creators it'd be a little bit weird because it's like, how do you send out an email being like, here's some information regarding Fortnite, without it being something that, doesn't exist? Because typically the emails that get sent out are all related to grants, stuff that's going to be added to your account. So if they're not actually ever adding anything to your account, then it gets a little bit suspicious, and it's like, okay, so you just sent like a blank email to someone trying to catch a leaker or whatever else, and there was no leaker to catch, so now you just have this confused person not knowing what's going on with their email. But I would love to know, what do you guys think about the whole entire situation? Personally, for me, I wanted to make a whole entire video on like a different topic here, and I'll go ahead and kind of leak the video idea to you guys. You can tell me if you want to hear me talk about this more in depth or whatever. But I wanted to make a video talking about if I'll be a Fortnite leaker forever, because I'll be honest here, I'll give you like a little bit of a glimpse into that video. I don't think I'll leak Fortnite forever, right? I think Fortnite leaking is a really cool thing, but my main focus is obviously being the YouTube content creator guy that you guys just trying to vibe with and listen to whenever it is that I talk about anything. And I feel like even if I was to quit leaking, right? If I was to leave Twitter entirely, I could still be able to get the opportunities I have now. I might not be able to be in like the Good Gamers group or anything, because that's specifically focused to my, like Twitter presence and everything. But I specifically feel like, I would be able to still gain a YouTube following and everything without being that Twitter leaker guy, right? I would just make a video a day talking about new leaks or whatever, maybe using private servers still to showcase new cosmetics or whatnot when they're added to the files. But I feel it'd be a situation where, like I'm able just to be the YouTube front of stuff and not always being the leaker of things, right? Like the active, hey, this is who you go to for Twitter for leaking things. I mean, if you guys don't know, I quit leaking Fortnite a long time ago, right? Back in like 2017, 2018, I had quit leaking Fortnite because I felt the community was just way too toxic at the time, at least over on Twitter. And I only ended up returning because, believe it or not, Happy Power was asking me to return back then, right? And I was like, you know what? Fine, I'll make a new account or whatever and start leaking stuff again. And I ended up getting more of a following than I ever had when I last leaked Fortnite. So it was a thing where at one point I did quit this game, or I guess not quit the game, but I quit leaking the game. And I always wanted to keep the whole YouTuber content creator aesthetic that I always do going on, even if I wasn't actively looking in the files for stuff. Because I'll be honest, I think everyone wants to get an icon skin in the game, locker bundle, get in that program or whatever else, and I think that would be something that I would enjoy being in as well. Being able to get cosmetics early or whatever without buying them sounds like fun, right? It sounds like an easy way just to, get some new content in the game while being able to make some videos and everything without having to do some like techie stuff, go on a private server or whatever else. But at the same time, I understand from my position and everything when it comes to what I do on YouTube that isn't really something that's going to be available to me because I'm a leaker, right? And that is something where I'm like, one day I hope that if I was to ever get access to these programs or, maybe get trusted by Epic or whatever, that I would be able to both be a leaker, because I think best of both worlds, right? I could continue being a Fortnite leaker, and I would be able to continue actually doing the whole entire, like, cosmetic, or I guess I would be able to actually get invited to the cosmetic program and everything, so that I would be able to get those cosmetics early and whatever else, and then we would just have that understanding that it's like, look, I ain't the one leaking the stuff. You might have content creators out there leaking the stuff for you, but I'm just sitting here chilling, being like, here's the leaks in the files or whatever else gets posted that I was never told I'm not allowed to talk about. But if they ever told me, hey, don't talk about this, I would just, refrain from talking about it, right? But of course that trust will probably never be there, because even without leakers in the program, we have a situation where it's like content creators are constantly leaking the emails anyways. So with that said, yeah, there's a whole entire debacle going on over on Twitter right now regarding, should these type of things be leaked early? Should these not be leaked early? Is this causing a weird discussion where leakers don't get any consequences, but the content creators themselves are getting consequences for talking about the stuff only after the leakers themselves leak it? And it's really just a confusing situation overall, where I feel it's like, devil's advocate. I understand both sides. I feel like, the leaker side of, oh, hey, it's not our fault that the stuff got leaked to us. It's kind of the fault of whatever creator did it. And I understand the other side as well, where it's like, if I was a creator, I don't want to risk being removed from the program, so I don't want to have to dodge a specific topic that I was told not to talk about just because it was all the way out there after, a point when I was told not to talk about it. So with that said, yeah, this is a very confusing video. I somehow did 666 combat in this match. Oh boy, that is the devil's number, dun dun dun. But yeah, that's my whole entire opinion. You might agree with me, you might disagree with me, you might be somewhere in the middle, and with that said, you're all entitled to your own opinions on the whole entire situation. I just personally think that it is a spot where, it's wrong on both sides, right? It's wrong from the stance of, hey, we removed a content creator and we didn't really explain much other than we're reorganizing the program or whatever, but it's also wrong on the content creator stance for deciding to talk about something that they were told explicitly not to talk about. But I can also still understand why they talked about the thing they were told not to talk about, because of the fact that, it was already out there. Everyone already knew about that information before they were even told about it, right? They could have even made a video before they were told about it, and still, would they have faced the same consequences? We don't really know. But yeah, you also got to hear about me being a shill for Epic Games, because if I was in the program, if they ever want to give me a locker bundle or anything, I would be about it, right? It could be in the files, decrypted everything right away. I would make sure my images would not include that specific file. I'd make sure, okay, extract this, don't show it in the image, post everything else, because if Epic Games told me not to talk about something, even though I'm a Fortnite leaker and it goes against what a Fortnite leaker does, I would still, not talk about it just because of the fact that I won't want to get removed from the program or anything like that. So my stance is, it sucks no matter what side you're on, right? It sucks if you're the leaker, it sucks if you're not the leaker, because no matter what, there's going to be this endless debate over, should this get leaked? Should this not get leaked? How do we prevent this? How do we not prevent it? Or anything else. and there's just nothing you can really do on either side to stop it except for Epic Games themselves to make a clearer explanation of what is allowed and what is not allowed. Maybe they need to start putting in the emails, even though this information might get leaked or something, still don't talk about it or anything like that, or else you risk removal from the program or anything else, right? But with that said, I hope you champs and champions enjoyed this video, right? It might be all over the place, who knows? Maybe I'm going to get flamed by Twitter a little bit later for my opinion, and no matter what side you're on, whether you're iTalk, Happy Power, you're Sheena, Hypex, whoever else, you're FireMonkey even, you're a leaker, a content creator, someone in the program, an artist out there, someone not in the program, I think that this whole entire situation is just going to be something that we'll continue to talk about forever, basically. It will like die down sometimes, get picked up more times, and everything else there. And I feel like it will be just this endless battle, right? I feel like it will be an endless battle of who can we trust, who can we not trust, you know, who can Epic Games trust, and everything else. And I mean, I'm looking at Twitter right now on my other monitor, and I'm seeing people in their Twitter circles, which I'm not saying names because, you know, that's their Twitter circle and everything, being worried that they hope they don't get removed for some random reason because they're not a content creator in the program, but instead they might be someone who works and, you know, makes like art or whatever, right? And they got on the program because they made good art or something, and Epic Games wanted to show them appreciation and everything. So I think that it is a little bit of a thing where a lot of people are being scared based on a vague explanation, when in reality they don't really need to be too scared, because I think this is more a situation relating to specifically talking about information people were told not to talk about. But with that said, my name's FireMonkey. Hope you champs and champions enjoyed this video. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below, and I'll catch you guys tomorrow with another upload. Peace out.